Here we have one of the pyramids. We're gonna head down and take a close look. Did you know Mexico City is home to one of the best preserved ancient cities on earth? In this video, we're heading deep into the legendary lost city of Teotihuacan, following the footsteps of the ancient people who called this place home. And if you're planning a trip to Mexico City, the pyramids are probably high on your bucket list, and you're narrowing down whether you want to carve out a day to see them. Let's start off saying that the pyramids blew my mind, and totally exceeded all expectations. You're walking through this massive ancient city, and it's so well preserved, it almost feels like the ancient people just left yesterday. As you walk down this boulevard, it's hard to believe this city was already several hundred years old when Julius Caesar ruled the Roman Empire. The people of Teotihuacan were master architects, building massive pyramids, organized streets, and housing for tens and thousands of residents. But unlike the civilizations of Europe and ancient Egypt, the people of Teotihuacan left very little written history behind. Today, the names we call these pyramids, such as the Pyramid of the Moon, Pyramid of the Sun, Avenue of the Dead, weren't given by the people of Teotihuacan, but by the Aztecs who arrived hundreds of years after the civilization collapsed. On my visit, I joined a tour group which allowed us to tour inside the historic homes where the ancient people lived. We can see painted murals with paint that has lasted to this day, unearthed behind hidden walls. We also see apartment-style housing where multiple families would have probably lived here. And these houses were super well preserved. It's almost like walking into Pompeii, where you can see the original subdivisions and walls in these old houses. You can see living rooms, kitchens. It's almost like you can just walk in and hear the ancient people cooking up a nice meal. At its peak, Teotihuacan was one of the world's largest cities, home to well over 100,000 people. And beyond its borders, the people of Teotihuacan actively traded with the Mayans to the south. And war wasn't common. It was a rather peaceful time. Archaeologists aren't able to find proof of defensive architecture, such as walls and castles. So this really puzzled archaeologists. How did one of the world's largest cities become a ghost town? Around the year 500, disaster hit the world. Megavolcanic eruptions produced ash that covered the atmosphere, producing crop failures around the world. People became hungry, and civilizations started falling apart, and Teotihuacan was not immune. Different groups broke apart and formed regional powers. Quite the anticlimactic end to one of the world's largest cities. Let's go take a look at the pyramids, shall we? We were welcome to climb on it and see the view up top. Climbing on it is as thrilling as it looks. It's very doable for all ages. It's certainly steep. The steps rise aggressively because they rise about a foot for every foot vertical, so it's about like a 45-degree angle, much more steep than any modern staircases. Climbing up the pyramid. Some joke that it was almost like going up to be sacrificed, but the view on top is definitely worth the sacrifice, even if you fear heights. The view is insane. When you see straight down the ancient city, and at sunset, it kind of feels like we're in an Indiana Jones movie. While there are a lot of people visiting, this place is large enough that it feels unique and down to earth. It's definitely very popular, but certainly not overrated. You can walk about a third of the way up. They closed the rest of it, I think, to preserve it. But here you get a pretty good view of the overall pyramid complex area. And we had very good luck with weather today.
Can you listen? Again? Right, this way.
Back on the ground level, our tour guide showed us several other cool features of this ancient city. Like the ancient Greeks, the Teotihuacan were master of acoustics. The architecture allowed voices to be transferred clearly across the city square. It was thought that the people would gather here and leaders would speak to the masses. After climbing the Pyramid of the Moon, we head over to see two more very cool pyramids, the Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Feathered Serpent. On the way there, we walk down the famous Avenue of the Dead, as wide as an interstate freeway, with the Pyramid of the Sun creating a nice backdrop. We get a good look at these smaller pyramids and raised platforms. Some of them have very cool murals, this mural being the most famous of a jaguar over 10 feet tall, an apex predator here in Mesoamerica. On this next part of our tour, one structure stands out. Very well decorated, and a lot of bones found buried underneath. This pyramid is unique. It's not the largest, but certainly the most ornate. In front of us is the Pyramid of the Feathered Serpent. In its heyday, this pyramid was painted red, creating quite an imposing sight. Its stone walls are covered in carved heads, decorated with waves and feathers, a representation of the feathered serpent god. Exact meaning of the serpents are unknown. Archaeologists guess it could be symbols about rain, agriculture, crop production. Another theory is this pyramid, which was built about 100 years after the Pyramid of the Moon, was built by a ruler that used the feathered serpent as a symbol of their power. This ruler also built a massive citadel surrounding the pyramid, and they excavated a huge square larger than several football fields. In the center of the citadel, there's a raised platform similar to the one we saw in the Pyramid of the Moon, where speakers would stand to address the townspeople.
This way, guys. So when the Teotihuacan, the priests, the government spoke here, guys, they never repeat the speech. Only they say once or maybe turn around, turn to left anytime, but never repeat the speech. And of course, never spoke loud, only soft or normal, right, guys? And the people, for respect, wait in silence, right, guys? So it's amazing how they built these places 2,000 years ago. Well, the archaeology says that the first accused places, guys, were built by the Mayans.
Researchers guess through trading with the Mayans, the people of Teotihuacan learned to build squares with great acoustics that allow speakers to address their cities of over 100,000 people in a time before microphones. We've explored the citadel, but we haven't talked about the elephant in the room. The greatest mystery of all isn't the square itself, the Pyramid of the Feathered Serpent, or its great acoustics. It is this structure built right up against the Pyramid of the Feathered Serpent, hiding it from the town square. Tourists climb on this platform to get a view of the Pyramid of the Feathered Serpent. This platform we're on is the Arosada platform. So you're probably thinking, why would the Teotihuacan people build a massive structure in front of their beautiful pyramid? The answer is apparently quite simple. We'll climb on the pyramid and learn more. Researchers now think the new platform was built when the ancient people shifted away from powerful rulers towards a collective government, an early form of democracy. Building this platform blocks the view of the old pyramid and was a symbol of resistance and probably a way to make the old pyramid irrelevant. We're at the end of our tour. This is the Pyramid of the Sun. This is the tallest pyramid in the complex. This one you can't climb up, but you can appreciate it from far here. The pyramid is 215 feet tall, taller than the Pyramid of the Moon and the Pyramid of the Feathered Serpent stacked on top of each other. The Aztecs, who discovered this pyramid hundreds of years after the city was abandoned, gave the pyramid its modern name, thinking that something so magnificent can only be built by the gods. But the pyramid was built for an entirely different purpose. It was to manage water in this dry environment. Its original builders built a complex network of waterways underneath the pyramid to help with irrigation and water storage during dry years. And a temple once sat at the top. But this temple has long worn away, and so is the red paint. The pyramid was once painted red, but years of erosion has wiped that off. And sacrifices have also been discovered here, although evidence suggests that the Teotihuacan was notably less bloody than other contemporary cities. So how is it like getting to the pyramids from Mexico City? You have several options, but a guided tour made the most sense to me. I heard rideshare is a viable option, but make sure you have good phone connection when you get here so you can get a ride back. Public transit is another option, but that will be very slow, requiring multiple transfers, taking at least 2 hours each way. For tours, there's a handful of options you can choose from online with a quick Google search. For my tour, I paid about $60 per person. The tours were well run and didn't feel touristy. They provide transportation on private buses and guided tours of the pyramids with knowledgeable historians. It was a good opportunity to see different neighborhoods of Mexico City and the surrounding countryside on the drive out. I hope you enjoyed this video and have an opportunity to visit the pyramids yourself. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. If you learned something new today or found this video interesting, informative, or helpful, please be sure to add a like and don't forget to click subscribe to help my channel grow. Here are my other travel contents from across Mexico.